I was trying to think of something to say for this little, like, you know, before my intro, and I literally cannot think of anything, so this is what you're getting. Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I am doing my January wrap-up and February TBR, even though, yes, it's like middle of February. The first book I read in the month of January was Fans of the Impossible Life by Kate Scalessa, I think is how her last name is pronounced. This book is about a girl named Mira who is starting over at a kind of preppy school. She used to be at the public school, and she's starting over at this kind of like preppy school because of reasons that you find out later. And there's this kid named Jeremy there that she ends up becoming friends with, and she also kind of like brings along a friend from her old school named Sebi. And the three kind of form this unconventional friendship. And I did not like this book. I liked the topics it was covering. I liked what it was trying to do, but I did not like the way it was executed. It just seemed very forced. I couldn't connect with any of the characters. And I understand that, like, you don't have to connect with characters for a book to be a good book, but I feel like good characters are characters you can like connect with in some form or fashion, no matter like if you differ in opinions, if you differ in race, if you differ in whatever, you can still like find a way to sympathize with them. And I just like, I couldn't with these guys. Does that make sense? I was kind of speed reading the book because I wanted it to be over with. I almost DNF'd it so many times, but I kept reading it, but I did not enjoy it. I didn't think like the story was moving along at a steady pace. It just bored me out of my mind and I never cared what happened. So I wouldn't exactly recommend it. It just did not impress me. Again, I liked what it was trying to do. I liked the topics it was covering. I just didn't like the execution of it. Next book I read was Ghostly Tales, Spine-Chilling Tales of the Victorian Age, illustrated by Bill Bragg, written by a whole bunch of classic authors. This book was fantastic. If you want to find out how I got this book, I will leave that video linked down below. You can go check that out because it's quite a story. I'm kind of exaggerated. It's not like that great of a story. It's just, it amuses me. This book was fantastic. It had stories by Charles Dickens, Robert Louis Stevenson, other people who I didn't know. I really like short stories. I feel like they're just kind of like the perfect length, and I loved being able to like transition from each different authors and seeing like the different writing styles. My favorite one was the second one, which I can't remember the name of. I don't have the book, so I can't look it up. But it's the one with like the girl and the caretaker, and there's like the little phantom girl. That one was my favorite. That one was so good. They were all really good though. And this is a book if you don't like really scary books around Halloween time, but you like creepy books, aka me. I don't like being terrified, but I like to be spooked a little. Maybe don't push it though. This is the book for you. But also if you just like classic authors, because I love classic authors, and this book kind of made me want to like get back into classics. I kind of got out of them last year, and I kind of talked about this a bit in my 2017 wrap-up. Link down below. But I kind of want to get back into it this year. Don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon because my reading month is slow going, so we'll see. But that's the goal. Definitely recommend this book. Also, it's just absolutely gorgeous, so why wouldn't you want to get it? This book I read was Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills. This book is gorgeous inside and out. It's so fantastic. First of all, take a look at this cover, and I've already shown off this cover, but I'm gonna show it off again. Take a look at this cover, and then when you take off the dust jacket, look at that. It's the same thing, but with like indented into the book, and I'm in love. This book is about a girl named Claudia, and she overhears the breakup of two people that she wasn't supposed to overhear, and then has to do a school project with one of them, but she kind of sabotages her. So then in order to bring the grade up, they have to audition or at least work a school play that's going on between their preppy school for girls and the other preppy school for boys. And because of this, she meets Gideon and Gideon's friends, and she kind of like branches out because, you know, Claudia was kind of like a one friend person. This is a book where the characters are just fantastic, and the relationships between them, the friendships, the bro TPs, the sibling relationships, everything was just amazing. And I loved it all. Emma Mills has a knack for having ridiculously relatable characters, almost to the point where you don't like that you relate to them, because you relate to them in ways that you don't always like about yourself, and then the character doesn't always like that about themselves. And I've already said like this almost exact same thing in a past video, but oh well. But it's true, like you relate to them hardcore, but you don't always like it because like she's kind of like pinpointing the the things that you know you need to work on, and then like this character knows they need to work on. But it's so good. It's so good. If you have never read an Emma Mills book, what are you doing with your life? Please go read this book. It lives up to the hype. It is fantastic. The next book I read was Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens and Ninja by Becky Albertalli. This book has been on my TBR pile ever since it came out, but I kept putting it off to read other things. And then one of my friends here at college was like, Hannah, you need to read this so we can go see the movie together. And I was like, okay, you're right, I do need to read this. So she lent it to me and I read it in like 2 days and it was so good. It's so cute. Listen, I'm a sucker for the whole online friends, we don't know who we are in real life, but like we might be able to meet in real life and that whole thing. I'm a sucker for it. So this book was right up my alley. Super cute, fun, quick, loved it. Excited for the movie, but also a little nervous for the movie, so we'll see how that goes. But I definitely recommend reading the book. And the last book I read in January, which I technically think I finished in February, but I know I marked it on GOODREADS like a week after I actually finished it. Here's the thing. So you know how I said my resolution was to try and like write out more reviews on GOODREADS? Yeah, that is not working out too well for me because then I just keep putting off like marking stuff as I finish this because I'm like, well, I gotta write a review, but it's gotta like actually sound good. So I don't know how much longer that's going to last. It's lasted a month and it's been an experience. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing that. But basically, I think I did technically finish this in February. I know it's not marked until February, but I know I finished it like a week before it's marked. But I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about it now because it's on my mind. So this might be technically a February book, but we're just gonna roll with it, okay? But that book is Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater, the third book in the, what is this, Raven Cycle? Yeah, Raven Cycle series. And I am finally almost done with this series. I love it so much. Can't really tell you much about this book because it is the third book in the series, but basically the Raven Cycle is about a girl named Blue, and she is in a family of psychics, although she herself is not psychic. And one day she just kind of gets mixed up with these boys from this local school, and they start kind of going off on adventures to find a sleeping, dead Welsh king. Do with that what you will. This series is just so good. The characters are so fantastic. I am in love with it. I still think the first book might be my favorite. This book was really high up there. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever be able to choose a favorite from this book because they kind of all run together in my head. But if you haven't read this series yet, what are you doing with your life? Don't do what I did and take forever and then regret it. Go read it now. Now for the February TBR, even though it is already the middle of February. And since I counted that book for January, I haven't finished a book for February. I am currently reading The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the fourth and final book in the Raven Cycle series, and I'm loving it so far, but it is going so slow. I've been reading this for like a week now. Problem is, my classes are taking their toll on me, man. They are a little more difficult than I was expecting them to be, so I'm taking more time to study than to read, which like technically is a good thing, but I'm not happy about it. So I will finish this. Also, sometimes when I have the free time, I end up watching Friends instead of reading this because I'm honestly kind of scared. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish it this month. It's gonna be good. I'm scared, guys. Also just don't want it to end. And after that, the book I think I want to read it next is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, or Dennard, however it's pronounced. I think it's Dennard. I don't completely know what this book is about, but I know it involves witches and they all have like different kinds of powers, and that there is a great friendship in this, which is kind of why I want to read it. I saw somebody's vlogs. I saw so many Zeta vlogs, I honestly don't remember whose it was. But at one of them, Susan Dennard was also there, and she was talking about her book. And that just made me like revamped to want to read it again, because I already obviously own the book. And I've been wanting to read it for a while, but this has been one of those that you kind of like put off, you know? It's not at the top of your TBRs, you just keep putting it off. But now it's kind of at the top again. So hopefully this will be the next book I read, but it's kind of a big one and I'm kind of wanting to read a shorter book so I can feel more accomplished for the month. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Or I could just like, you know, forego some sleep to read, but I've been needing that sleep recently, so yeah, that's probably not gonna happen. Comment down below what you read in January. What was your first book that you read for the year? Obviously, I didn't really care for the first book I read this year, but so far after that, I've been doing really well, so it's okay. It's okay that the first book was a bad one. Also, if you have read the Raven Cycle series, comment down below, let me know if I should be scared for the last book, because maybe I don't have to be as scared as I am. That'd be nice. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all again with one soon.